And we're back with another episode of Let's Play PC Building Simulator. I am your host, the RPG Guy. So, I figured it out, kinda, and I'll explain what it is. Number one, I didn't look it up. I just did some trial and error for about an hour. Yeah, I spent an hour trying to figure this out. And it really was me not using the right software for gauging, because here's the CPU throttle right here on OCCT. And I wasn't using it. I kept using 3D Mark, which doesn't check for CPU throttling, or if it does, I wasn't sure where to look. So, and all it was I ran the test, as you can see, and it passed. And what I needed to do to adjust the CPU throttling issue was when I go into the, and I don't need to run this again, but I'm going to run it again for you guys because it's just going. But you'll see it doesn't throttle. It even shows the power draw of the CPU. There's also GPU info as well if you need that. Okay, so it's finished, and we can see that the CPU speed is what 104, and the bus speed here is at 102. Now, what I did, I'm going to go ahead and uninstall these guys really quick, because we don't need them right now, but I'll show you, in a sense, what I did before we finished this rig. Because yeah, it was a lot of trial and error, and I ended up getting the exact number necessary. But what it was I booted into the BIOS, okay, and then I looked at the CPU. So I adjusted both the ratio and the base clock in kind of congruent with each other, not perfectly congruent. I think there's still more in the ratio than there is the base clock, but it ended up giving me the exact number I needed. And when I looked at both of the different settings, the voltage you can see is peaked at 150. When you see both of the settings, which I went, by the way, I went to 160 and it blew out the processor. So with that said, I was able to troubleshoot this a little better. And when I did this and then ran OCCP, the first time I ran it, by mixing those two, the error wasn't I wasn't getting a throttling problem. So it was really okay. So I don't really understand what I did. I just know that I did it correctly, and I tested it. I sent it back to the person, and I got full credit for it. So as you can see, here's full credit for it. So yeah, so I did figure it out, and I was able to make it work without getting too nuts. So, but yeah, it was a bit of a process. All right, so we've got these guys. Nice. I think we looked at that. So anyway, I do thank you guys for any confusion in that last episode, because you don't understand why it's not working. So, hi, I am very sorry to come to you once again, but it seems my son has been lying to me. I was speaking to a work colleague about my son's computer, and he told me that the system you built for me is hugely overpowered for homework, and that Planet of Tanks is actually a video game. When you consider the money and stress he has caused me, you can imagine my displeasure. Of course, I do not blame you for any of this, as your work has been exemplary. But my son must be taught a lesson about lying to his father. I have sold the previous computer to my colleague to recoup some of the costs, and I would like you to build a very basic computer for my son. It should absolutely not be able to run Planet of Tanks. Um, many thanks, Javed or Javed Chowdhury. Okay, so 3D Mark score of 2,000. Spend less than $500. Ooh, Daddy's going cheap. This is probably, we can, I think, put in a used card, and I do know that we have some that we're sitting on that are single installs. So like this 6 gig here would probably be more than sufficient. I'd love to put that in, but that's more that this one card costs more than the budget. So yeah, we'll probably go with like something dirt cheap that we're already kind of sitting on. Maybe this guy or the 4 gig golden to get that out of our inventory, because I don't think we've got a golden coming in anytime soon. So yeah, let's go into the shop, and of course we've got to go rather a bit on the cheap side. And for the used graphics card, we'll just use what they value it at as our kind of our baseline number. And we're gonna cut the budget wherever we can to keep it rather cheap, because it's gotta be cheap. So if our budget is 500, let's say minus 95 for this card. Okay, let's see here. So case is gonna be 50 bucks because we're not saving money on that. We're 10 bucks, woo. Unless I have to. Power supply. We may want to go with a 450. Well, for 50 bucks we can. For $5 more we can, I think, even get. Well, okay. It's a little bit more. Let's do a 550. So minus another 55. That's 300 bucks. Storage. We're gonna go dirt cheap, I think, because we're not gonna be able to do much better than that. So minus 20. We got a graphics card. Memory we'll figure out after we do processor and motherboard, which they've got to be cheap. And still offer the performance that I think he's looking for. So I would say a safe bet might be a 3000 or 3300. So that's 3300 is a Skylake. That's an older board technology. If we can get away from that, so 30 bucks more would get us 3600. At 90, that'll give us 100. Yeah, that doesn't give us a lot of money to burn here. I don't remember. Are we sitting on really crappy memory by any chance? Not really. We have 2 8 gigs at 2800, which we might be able to use for something later. But I see 4000. I see a 16 gig of 2400 at $45. So, if so facto, that 16 gig 2400 might be a pretty good deal. Or here's 4 gig at 3000. We could just use that. It's only 20, so theoretically 20 bucks as I knock coinage off of my desk. So let's say minus 20 bucks. Was it 20 or was it 40? I think it was 20. And that's 3000. So yeah, so let's just say we use that. We have a lot of cool CPU coolers, so let's just pick out the cheapest one we've got that would fit it. I think this guy right here would be great. So let's say minus 11 for the cooling. So that gives us 249 for everything else. So, and I don't want, well, I don't want to use that. i7 7700. How much is that? It's 260. That's already more than our budget. So, bloop. And let's go with, we have a little bit more to spend. So let's go with this one at minus 90. And we have 159 for a motherboard. So that should cover us at Kaby Lake, but we'll see. Ooh, it does not. As we have to be 175. Okay, so let's go back to processors. What did we end up taking? The one that was 90. Let's not do that. And let's go back to processors. And let's go back to this guy. That's 60 bucks. And that should give us the motherboard cost that we can afford outright. No, not coffee. Kaby. Yeah, right there. 175 minus 175. And that leaves us with 14 bucks left. We actually have this motherboard too. So, yeah, we do have this motherboard. So I'm just going to, hold on to that for now. And we'll just use that. So everything else is going to be used, and it's going to be the cheapest that we can do. Are you available for a new build? Can you help with this? Someone recommended a new PC I need built. I need to benchmark 6942. Can you do this? Can you get it done in 12 days? I'm a total MSI fanboy. No use stuffed. Okay, so that's fine. That's 6942 is not too high. And the budget's looking pretty darn good. So we do have a ton of money to burn. Now we can't use that new card, so we're gonna just the card that we're sitting on. I don't think we'll get that number solely from that card. I think we got to do a little bit, maybe dual carding of a lesser card. So let's go into cases. We'll do the deep cool matrix for 50. The power supply, we're gonna go dual watted, dual card, so 650 minimum, but 750 optimum. The cheapest 750 we can get is here for 100 bucks. So we'll grab the silver stone for 100. Storage, we'll do the where is it? The M2. Though we could go with a slightly see, these Patriots are a little better at 110. So let's actually grab the Patriot. That gives us 1400 to play with. So, processor. Let's go with AM4 slot. I tend to like the AM4s a bit. I tend to like the Ryzen's a bit better. Overall performance-wise, let's go into the 6 cores. I think is a safe bet. What is the cheapest 6 cores we can get? 290 at 39. Well, here's two. Let's start here. We can go with the Ryzen 5. It's not a bad processor. Let's go with this guy. It's still better. Minus 260. Cooling can be cheap. Boop. And then motherboard. And, oh god, so there's a better Crossfire option exclusive. I just worry that we run into issues with that. So let's go with this one at 165. So we're at 968. So we can do a 450 to 470 video card. So and we can dual card it with pretty much almost anything. We still need to get by RAM, so maybe I'm jumping the gun here. And maybe I'm jumping the processor cost. So let's go down. I want to go down in performance, but I kind of don't. Let's remove that before I forget. 750 watt is nice. We have gotten this score out of 650, so let's go. We could save some money that way too. So let's go to power supply. And yeah, see 650 for 60 bucks. So let's add back in the 100 and then do a minus 60. So that gives us 1,005. That's without changing processor and motherboard. That's going to help us a wee bit better, I think. Budget wise. Okay, let me think here. And we don't have to give up our fast storage. So, the Asus, I think, is 3600 memory, so we could go with 32. Kind of keep the cost down. I'll put in and see what is the 16 gig stick going for? 210? Yeah, I think that'll work. So minus 210, 795. So let's go to graphics cards here and take a look at the. We have $795, so it's less than $400. So I might need to move something around. Let me think here. There's not much we can do to get around some of the issues here. So we gotta do. We'll do either 8 gigs or we'll just do overall less memory. Speed wise, let's go to memory. 2800. What do we got here? So yeah, it goes down a little bit more. Let me think. 170 gives us 835. And then graphics cards. So we're talking 415 max each card. So let's see what's in that range. And we gotta be weary of the wattage a wee bit. 405. Yeah, so these guys are the candidates here. 1431, 1441. So we'll do boom, boom. And he wants MSI in there, so that works out. So that's minus 810. Which leaves us with a $25 difference. How much we can do better? I mean, we can't do a better power supply for 25 bucks. It's got a 16 gig stick in there. We could do a better heatsink, but I'm too lazy to worry about that. It's at 110, so it would give us a 135 budget. And I don't think there's going to be a faster stick speed. Yeah, so no, we'll just leave that 25. You know what? We'll add a fan. We'll add one fan. Technically, we could add 2, but we'll just add 1 for that back area. All right, so this one's done. I'm looking for some upgrades for my PC. The performance does 3472 sound like a fair benchmark. I'm after 16 gigs of memory. Can you get it done in 4 days? Seems a bit dusty inside. I like shiny new components. Regards, Maury. Freaking Murray. All right, so dude wants 16 gigs of RAM, and he's got an 8 gig 3400. Are we sitting on any leftover memory? I don't think we're sitting on anything left over from that. I mean, we have the Trident there, but it's used. So he needs 3408 gig. So memory 3400. Boom, that's 116. So, That's leaves us with 299. Yeah, 116. And our budget was 415. So that leaves us with 299. Okay, that's not a lot of money. So what else can we do to upgrade his performance? To me, it seems like his video card is really bad. Processor is great. Vidicard, not so much. He's got a X470i gaming. Let's take a look at that. X470i gaming. So no multi-GPU, so we can't exploit that. Okay, so let's go to graphics card. What has he got in there? He's got an R9 280 Great. So let's see here. R9 280 Great is not R9 280 Great Tour. And so he's got a $299 budget. Where's the Great? Okay, so that's there. So he needs something substantially better than this. So let's go ahead and look at PC part ranking. Not substantially, but it needs to be pretty good. So we're looking for DFL. Great 3 gig. Okay. So we've got, what is it at? 1405. So let's look at the R9 380 and see what we get out of that. R9 380. So that's 215. So we can keep going higher. Let's see maybe the GTX 970 Gamer XL. 970 Gamer. Okay, that's still within our range. 280 for the 970 Gamer XL. So this is going to be pushing our budget. And then there's a 4 Golden right here that is even higher than that. So let's go with the Golden. So that'll be minus 285, which leaves us with $14 left. So I don't think we're going to get much better than that. Let's add it to cart, but let's just look at one thing slightly higher. Let's say the RX 470. RX 470. And what are we looking at here? The 4 gig or the 8 gig? They should be about the same. 295. So that's even better. Okay, that's even better. RX 470X is 300, which breaks the bank. So actually, this is probably a better deal. So we'll take that Golden out. And we'll go with that. I think that should be fine. We accept. Yeah, so that's good. There's the RAM, and then there's that. Which would leave us with like $4 left. So that's good. All right, let's do one more. Make my PC better. Oh boy. It's time for me to upgrade my PC. I need this PC to hit at least 6910 in benchmarks. Can you put 8 gigs? Can you put in 8 gigs of memory? Can you install AIO water cooler? It's urgent, so please hurry. I like nice, shiny new components. Thanks, Jay. Or just Jay. All right, so 970. It's a very strict budget. 970, huh? Well, what's interesting is he's got a 1088 gig. So we actually have one on us that we're trying to get rid of. We might be able to do that here, but it really is going to depend on what else he needs. Memory-wise, he only needs another 4 gig stick of 3200. So let's go to memory. 3200. So that's going to be cheap compared to other stuff we've had to buy at $65. Boom. So minus 65. Now, let's go to cooling. And he wants liquid cooling. So we'll get him the cheapest one just to keep things rather consistent here. So minus another 60. That puts us at 845. Now, I do want to check his motherboard, AX370 Gaming 7K. So if I just put in 7K, whoops. Of course it doesn't show up. So AX3, there it is. So Crossfire and SLI are on board. What else does he have? He has a good processor. So 1088 gig. 1088 gig. I wonder if this is compatible with what he's got. If it's not, what is the... It's 690, and the one we want to put in is 730, which we can afford. He can afford. So we'll try that. Does he need a new power supply? It's a 550. We'll put in a better power supply. He can afford $100. So we're definitely going to buy that power supply regardless, because I don't want to have to worry about performance issues later, or wattage issues if we go really big. So that's 110. Here we go. 750 will be fine. So that's minus 100, and that gives us 745. And the card we're holding on to will handle that. And if we need to buy that other card, I'll eat up the $100 for same day delivery. But we at least will see if we can try it that way. All right, so everything is going to be arriving upon the morrow. So let's go ahead and buy now. And transit, whiteboard. And we can't do anything about these guys right now. So, all right, let's power this down. We got a game plan. That's what's important. All right, let's see here. So we also have a broken PC, too, to look at. So we'll do that last. Ooh, i5-840, pretty good. And a good power supply. Shitty video card. It's always a shitty video card. All right, these guys, I guess we'll do last. So let's get these dudes in here. And then we'll power this up. So we need to figure out where who's getting their custom build first. And we'll do this while we're here. Yes, I'll take a case. Yes, I'll take a case. Yes, I'll take that broken PC with a 6-core in it. 0 gigs of memory, so the hard drive on that thing's busted. You can just tell by looking at it. Ooh, and an 850 watt power supply. So this one's finished, so we'll collect on this guy here. Yay. And we'll have a new one to put on the market in due course. Alright, so who was the technical... Technical Chris is the one that should be up there first. Alright, let's do this. So this guy... needs more RAM. I grab the parts. Yes. So let's go ahead and open Sesame. Take that out. Regardless, we're putting in the new power supply. Yeah, I will take it. Good. Even though you can see one's slightly bigger than the other too, which is kind of funny. Power supply, 750. $75 remaining. I didn't. Well, yeah. That's actually correct. Oh, and the water cooling. Duh. And I don't believe anybody asked for anything cabling-wise specific, so I know we're probably pretty good there. Hate these little mounts. Sure, in the real world they're practical. In this game, they're not, because of the auto plug-in feature. It just plugs in when you don't kind of want it to. All right. So to ensure that we get performance quality, we're going to make sure the RAM is set properly. Oh my God! It's a little green turd. The Shrek computer. And it be dusty. It be so dusty. All right, and let's go ahead and run a virus scan. So blow this all out. slow hard drive. We'll run 3D Mark. We'll also put in the performance enhancing stuff as well, just to make sure we can get it all in there. Okay, still looks like there's dirt in there, and I just can't see it. No, it looks pretty good now. Yeah, this does not look like a good design for a computer, and I'm not gonna lie. It looks like a really, really bad design because everything is so smashed in there. It's like I would assume heat and circulation is an issue, a big issue. God, that thing's such a piece of crap. Oh shit! None of these fit. Okay, well, that means we gotta go with a 970 gamer, so I will have to fast order something. We'll go with the XL. So it had to be a single size, and that the only way I would know that is from actually having this problem. So we have an extra card we don't need again, but at least it wasn't expensive, and we can shove it in something later. There we go. So that'll work comparatively better than the one card that obviously wouldn't fit. Let's plug that in. Let me just blow this out a little bit more. Like, why have a big power supply when you're never going to run that much power on that thing? All right, before we keep going there, let's put on the GPU tuner here. What? Why aren't we booting? Oh, is something not plugged in? Yeah, that's right. I needed to unplug that so I could see what I was doing. All right. Run the scanner. Prawn free. Should be good. And 3D Mark. Good hard drive in here. As you can see, that's what's mostly causing it to do its thing. Did we actually... I don't think we actually did this. Yes, we did. Alright. Looks like it's prawn free. Give it a little boost because, fuck it. Give it a good boost. It's not like it's hurting for wattage. Run it. Okay, that's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. And he just wanted a good score. So motherboard. We went with the AM4 with this guy. And he wanted all new stuff, so I know that we're safe with a good couple of choices here. Alright, so power supply. 650. I think he had 2 cards, so let's open that as well. Storage was this. Whoops. Graphics cards. Two of those. Memory. That. Cheap. Those are still running. I believe we bought him a case fan. Let's set the RAM. $43.63, so that should be more than enough. And $13.46, way more than what he needed. So he'll be happy about that. On this guy, we just need to run 3D Mark Advance, and we'll put in the GPU tuner as well. And we can remove all this stuff. Power down. It might be too high. What was the budget left over on this, by the way? $15 remaining, so we don't want to. We can't do much more to improve it. The rig's situation, so we just kind of got to leave it as is, and see if we can make sure we get the performance out of it. All right, these guys are done. And this is the cheapo. So we're going to put the cheapest of the cheap that we can afford to put in here via accessibility and things of that sort. 550, 650, 300 watt. Yeah, let's get rid of this shitty old thing. May as well. Motherboard. We went with Kaby Lake for a reason, so we'll stick with that. Where the hell? There we go. Memory. Cheapo 4 gig. Now, this changes things a bit because we do have some other options we didn't have before. But I do think I want to get rid of this guy if we can. Or was there another 6 gig that we were holding on to? We were actually thinking of getting rid of this one. Let's try this. 380, still in budget. And then cooling. Forgot that. Okay, let's close this up really quick. Just make sure the RAM is set. $8110. That looks good to me. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, now we gotta diagnose this guy. And so far it looks like a bad VideoCard, which is not a problem for me. Let's see here. 3D Mark. Okay, so this is obviously a bad power supply. Now, what we gotta figure out is it's got a good power supply in there. It's got a good motherboard. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. So, let's take this out. We can actually make a pretty decent rig out of this. It looks like it's only got one hard drive. So, storage. We don't need to add a storage. Could also go with a slightly weaker power supply. Wait, what's in here? Oh, I put a used one in there and I bought a new one. That's alright. How much money do we have to get back on this? $473, so it's probably not worth risking another power supply. We're probably not going to use that at all anyway, but we'll figure that out. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up another one of these because we can dual card this bitch. And let's open up another area for more RAM. So for the memory on this, we can actually put these 2 sticks of 2800 in. Why not? It's better than what was in there. Yeah. And then I don't think we have dual card stuff, so maybe we don't need a dual card, but Here's the stupid thing. Will this actually work? No. You can't blame me for trying. So that won't fly. X570. I don't think we really have too much that will work with each other. The closest thing might be these two guys. Let's see. Yep. Those two guys indeed. So that's probably the rig we're going to go with. Leave kind of everything else in there as is. So make sure the RAM is set. Okay, this one's good. No operating. Oh, shoot. Dirt. GPU tuner. We won't mess with. Let's just run it. We'll mess with it only if we have to. Put in that in the scanner. So it's worth 783 right now, which is actually pretty darn good. We're going to see if we can get more performance out of it. Alright, so those are both running. Let's take a look at some of these new ones. Make my PC better. We're proud to announce the ABCDIC EBCDIC Industries now has worldwide coverage. That's right, from America to Zanzibar, nowhere is out of our reach. Our new global satellite network ensures that there is no way to get out of range. Wherever you run, we'll be there. Freedom plans start from $5.95 a month. Interested, we already know. Sounds like a scam. Santa needs a favor. It was all going so well. Deer Hunting Simulator was running like a dream, and Santa was 3 kills and showing no signs of slowing down. But then that little fucking son of a bitch, cunt motherfucker, with the red nose jumped out behind a tree, and bam, the chase was on. Into the valley went Santa in pursuit of blood and glory. The scamp fainted left and ducked right, but Santa was right on his tail. There was no escape. Santa would have his pelt, and then down from above a cascade of freezing white. Santa was buried, and his prey fled to safety. Game over. Game over! Santa was furious. He couldn't contain it. He struck the keyboard and dashed it against the wall. He pummeled the computer with black-gloved fists. Well, you get the idea. The thing happened. These things happen from time to time to grown-ups, and it's perfectly normal. Nothing to worry about. Now, Santa needs you again. Santa needs you to repair the damage to the computer so we can get into the game and finish off that taunting little... And Santa needs you to get it done fast, or you're on the naughty list. All the best, Chris Santa Claus Kringle, CEO, North Pole. Okay, so... There's not much telling what's wrong here. So we'll just accept the job, but not buy any parts, because there's information that's easily missing from there. So anyway, whoop. And so this guy be done. How'd you do? Oh, my stars and garters. You're gonna get... Ooh! 2149. I'm rich, bitch. Yeah. $2,000 on this. Wow, thank you. Wow, thank you very much. So that'll be a nice money maker for us, right there. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, but I am for real. You know what? I just say weird stuff. You're just gonna have to deal with it, guys. All right, let's power that down. Let's get the hell out of my office. All right, so let's go ahead and make a save. Whee! Saving the game because people can be twats. Do. Give me all your cash. Freaking sweet. All your stacks belong to me. Do. Yeah, pay up, motherfuckers. Woo! We already did that. Okay, so All right, that's in transit because we don't know what it is. Hi, can you fix my PC? Diagnose and fix for 290. Well, you know what? Since we can't do much without Saint Nick, we'll diagnose that too. Upgrade parts needed. I've got the money. Can you make the upgrade? I saw a PC build online that benchmarked 4489. Can you hit that? Can you get 8 gigs of RAM, please? Can you do it in 10 days? Or the Gigabyte parts are really good. I've never cleaned it out. Is that okay? Gigabyte. So he wants an upgrade. So Gigabyte would be a Vigicard. But he needs 8 gigs of RAM. Now, that performance is leaving me wanting here. But 4 gigs would get us there. He's already at 39.92. So really, we could just buy another cheap 4 gig stick of Martoni to keep the cost down, so we could buy a really good Vigicard. So if we go in here and do like Martoni, whoa, hey, and we look, let's see. So 4 gig, let's just add. So his budget is 465, which is very, very bad. 465 minus, what was the RAM speed? Minus $35. That gives us 430 to pretty much spend on a video card. And he wants gigabytes, so I would say we type it in. Whoop. And we look for one in the 430 range, which it kind of seems like it peaks right here. Now, we want to see, he's got an RX 570. So where is the RX 570? RX 580, RX 570. It looks pretty low on here, actually. Yeah, it is. RX 570. And we are looking at getting for him a Gigabyte X580 8 gig. So we need to find Gigabyte 1060, Gigabyte RX 580 4 gig. Now where's the 8 gig? Huh? There it is right there. So this is a substantial upgrade from what he's got. So we'll grab that for $390. Which gives us $40 to burn. So if we add in the 35, if we add back in the 35, that gives us $75 to spend on memory, and he wants 8 gigs. So what we could do is look for something in the 2400 range. That's 8 gigs. And let's take a look. We should be able to afford something in here. We can. So we can actually get faster memory for him. And I would say we have $75 to spend. And I don't care about the bedazzlement. Let's just get him some DFL. No, yeah, we'll get him some fucking cheap ass DFL. Actually, you don't want to do that. Well, kind of do. 75 is the limit. You know what? We'll go with this. Boom. And then we'll remove the 4 gig Martoni. That'll give us 8 gigs of Martoni garbage RAM. At least we have 8 gigs to kind of dick around with. But we're not going to buy this yet because we don't know what's wrong with these other 2 rigs. And we can order all the parts and have them come same day. So what we'll do is we'll power this all. It's in transit, in transit, in transit. And then we can't do these yet. So all that's in transit. Let's power this guy down. And we'll turn that off. And make it a brand new day. And we get another broken PC coming in too, so that's kind of nice. All right, so we don't have anything. So we got a solid state and a nice stick of RAM. This is the dude with the upgrade, which we don't need to look at right away. That's the diagnostics, and this is also a diagnostic. Power that up. So it's booting up fine. So what's really the problem here? No CPU found. The fan is spinning. Looks like the RAM is on. So it's not a RAM issue. You can't tell. The video card is on. So it could just be the CPU. And the motherboard's obviously working because we can see it. So we'll come back and look at that in a minute. And it has, the power supply must be working too. Now, I don't see any other weird parts. I see a mechanical hard drive only. I don't see, and we'll take this out just to double check. Yeah, I don't see a small hard drive in there. I'm looking for, them solid states hiding around, but I don't see one. So I think it's going to be just the 2600 Ryzen. So let's go into the shop and do 2600. And what was his repair budget? 290. So there it is right there. Which, is it a new one or is it a used one that we're sitting on? Oh, it's the broken one. So let's sell that. We'll go ahead and boom to cart. We don't know what's wrong with Santa's rig, which is not starting at all. So let's just take this all apart, and then we'll just take a look at the parts for this rig. Because it could be, if for $400 something, it could be a mishmash of all kinds of issues. And it just makes more sense to kind of just take the whole machine apart and see what we're missing when we reassemble it that registers as broken. And there's a very good chance it's probably the motherboard. Okay, processor's fine. His cooling is fine. Which must be this one there. Motherboard is actually fine, so it's a power supply issue. And probably something else, so let's open that up. Let's check memory. Memory's fine. Oh, that's not. Oh no, that is his memory. Chris is not the other rig. This is the Chris rig. Okay, so let's put this back together. So yeah, 90% chance it's only the power supply, but if we have a budget, we could do some other stuff. We'll just have to see. Maybe add another stick of RAM in there or something for him. For old Santa Claus's trouble. Whoa. Ah, his VigiCard is bust, but now his budget doesn't fix that. So, okay, we got to think this through here. His VigiCard is bad, and I bet you his power supply is also bad. This is fine. And this is fine. So, power supply, yep. So his 850 watt power supply is also bust. So he didn't give us enough money to do this. So let's do this. And I'm going to make a save because I know this is going to become problematic later. And that's what we're going to do is we're going to buy the graphics card that he needs. Which is this guy here. And we're going to buy his equal power supply at the 850 watt here. So theoretically, we have everything everybody needs. And then what I'll do, and I might... Yeah, what we'll do is I will check this right now and see what happens. Because we may not be able to fix it. Because it's obviously the damage is greater than the issue. So, like, we'll have to sell that. And then the power supply is that. So it's way over budget, but I wanna see if we can get away with it. Because there's just, to me, it makes no sense if we can't get away with that, because that's exactly what he had in there. And I think the computer will say you put inferior stuff in the machine, so it doesn't work, or it won't count. So we saved before this, and I'm going to end the episode with that once we get this booted up. And I'll let it run the test, because if that's the problem, then I can reload, get our, like, $1,400 or, no, our $800 back. And figure out something else. And while that's going, this guy needs to be cleaned. So we'll clean this while we're waiting. try to get some of these guys kind of set up here. So this one needs a new processor, which we bought, and the other one needs a video card and more RAM. So we have a system set up that'll be pretty good. So I take back what I said. I said earlier that I'll have 2 4 gig sticks of crappy memory. I won't. I'll just have the one 4 gig, so we'll sell it. I'm not going to sit on a crappy piece of Martoni memory if I don't have another one to immediately go with it. Oh, we're getting some lag. Whoa. Alright, for some reason. Never figured out what's wrong necessarily. Let's open that up. And what I could do with this too is I did not need to put this back on. Son of a bitch. Man, memory. Probably not going to have this tested during this episode, but $5 over. Well, shit. Could have sworn we had $75 left. Put the wrong card in? I put the wrong stick of memory in. No, I couldn't have. Well, shit. I put the wrong stick of memory in. Alright, well, really quick, let's do this, and let me order that right in memory then, because it's $5 over. So memory, 2400. Where's that DFL? That was 8 gig. Bam. Made an accident. I just want to get these put in while we're here. I'm not going to go and change the video card out. It's too much work to go and look up another video card when I can put just a $5 cheaper stick of memory in there. And with the spare one that we have, we'll find somewhere to shove it. This must have been his. Alright, well those are going. This is done. Make sure it doesn't say anything else. Place in delivery area. Alright. This is the other broken machine that we don't know anything about. It's got a really good, it's got an overclockable processor in it. 520 watt power supply. 2 hard drives. One looks like it's bad, the 320. So that might be what's wrong with it, which is fine. We'll just take it out, put it in a different mechanical. Save that M2 for later. What's the motherboard? MSI Gaming Pro Carbon, so we can dual card this guy as well. Nice. So we have some options with this rig. This video card is pretty shameful, but we'll figure that out. All right. Let's go ahead now that that's done. We'll go, and I did all this work with the. Okay, so see, he didn't even care. Yeah, I was wondering about some of these because it's like if you need to put back in the exact stuff that he needed, it's kind of like, well, how do you do that and still say you can do everything else? So, all right. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I'm your host, your RPG guy. And when we come back, we're gonna knock these 2 rigs out. We're gonna get this. We're gonna sort this computer out because we're not quite sure what we can do for it and what necessarily needs to be done outside of probably a bad hard drive. Is what it looks like to me because that booted right up. So I'm inclined to think that this hard drive here is bad, and we just need to get a new one. And we either need to get a new drive for this altogether, which I'm convinced we should just leave it alone, because what's the power supply? 520. So we can put in a bigger power supply. I don't think we have dual cards though. So putting in dual cards on this guy is gonna be kind of iffy because I don't think we, like I said, I don't think we have a dual card compatibility thing. So, and I might, you know what, I'm gonna probably get rid of this guy here. We're just not gonna use that. And a 970. I don't even. We have a 980. And I just don't think we're gonna have dual card functionality here. So even if I do put this in, it's like I doubt anything here is gonna be. Ooh, there is a compatibility right there. Well, Hart and Tarhuni, look at that. So wait a minute, we might have something to this. So yeah, this is gonna warrant a bigger power supply. So we'll want to put in a bigger power supply on this guy, just to make sure we get the performance. We'll check memory. And we'll leave the processor in. It's an overclockable processor, but I don't think I'm going to overclock it. I just don't see a point in doing that. So anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. I am your host, the RPG Guy. And again, when we come back, we'll have some more PC building simulator for you. And we're going to get some more hardcore work done. And specifically, we're going to get this guy rebuilt because we might be able to get really good performance out of this rig. And yeah, it'll be cool because look at that. We even have another 8 gig stick. So look at this. It's all working out. So anyway, yeah. So thanks for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And make sure you check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JackTardStudios. And watch other live shows and all the kinds of other things that we do there. We have lots of fun. We do a tabletop show, I play I'll blind play and replay through classic JRPG games that are wonderful and everybody loves them, and the community's great. Come be a part of that community. Again, JackTard Studios, twitch.tv/JackTard and I know you're gonna have a good time when we're there. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please take a moment to check out more episodes from the RPG Guy, Tuesday Night Team Up, and more. And please subscribe. Always support the channels you enjoy watching, and while you're at it, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Keep on gaming hard. See you next time.